Hi, Kata. How are you doing?
Hi, Roddy. I'm great. How are you?
I'm excited. I'm really, really happy for this day because I feel that we are going to speak about some really interesting things
Mm,
that we are so passionate about. And so I'm looking forward to sharing from our experiences that which we know to be true for us. And in the in a way in which people can actually test for themselves and experience for themselves and really find the truth within themselves.
so, what's the topic for today?
So today I wish to discuss about manifestation
Okay.
and specifically about how to have really the life that you want. And it might sound paradoxal,
Mm,
but in order to have what you want, you must bypass or transcend the desire to have,
what do you mean?
in the sense that you have to act and know and feel that those things that you desire are already present in your reality right here and right now. And it's exactly as you would have, it's exactly as you would behave with an object that you already have, right? In the sense that, for instance, you have, let's say, your phone, right?
Hmm.
And you don't desire your phone anymore, right?
Right.
You don't need it, you don't want it, you use it, maybe you're grateful for it, you like it, but you don't have desire to have it. I know it is such an interesting topic. Not many people discuss about desire, but I have reached the conclusion through personal experiences that if I occupy the state of consciousness where I have the desire, so the desire is active in me. This desire does not bring with itself the completion, the fulfillment of the desire. So basically, you or I or anyone that wants to have something must occupy the state in which they already have what they want. So basically, they are not looking around to check if it's present, even if our human five senses deny the presence of that which you want to have, right? Or that which you want to be. Maybe you want to be a star, a celebrity. Maybe you want to be a teacher, a cook. It really can be anything. But it's so important to understand that desire is really a signal from the universe that there is something available for you.
Hmm.
So it is really um, opening the path. It's opening the path, and it is opening you to receive, right? So desire is really important, but there are stages, right? So, first is the desire to be something, to go somewhere, to eat something. It can be really any kind of experience whatsoever. But not the desire is not the one that is fulfilling the experience. it is the one that is opening you to receive and have the experience. And so, what is next from my experience, the next step is really feeling, knowing what I want, feeling as if it's already present in my life, and acting in the world as if it is done. And there are many thought leaders that have said and have talked about this, which is Neville Goddard, for instance. I resonate so deeply with Neville. How about you?
About Neville, well, I really love what he teaches, and I deeply resonate with his teachings. I do believe also that you experience in this world that which you believe to be.
So ultimately, what is important is to realize that the state of being in which you live from and from which you see the world is literally the one that creates reality.
Mm-hmm.
And reality is but a reflection, a mirror of who you believe to be.
In any given moment. Yes.
It does have a delay in the sense that the structure will, until, let's say, a belief, right? So if you are forming a belief system, or yes, let's say we assume that it's a new belief system that you want to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
You're adapting to a new truth. So until that truth becomes
Hardened.
energetically structured um, in your system, in your own consciousness, it takes some time until it reflects. And it is basically the same. We can have this analogy with going to gym, right? And working out. So for the first, let's say, 4 weeks, there are almost no results, or
Mm-hmm.
the results are minimum. But you know that your posture is changing, right? Energetically speaking, what happens is at the highest or the subtlest
Mm-hmm.
level, changes in your energy structures, in your energy levels, in your energy system, right? Until it is reflected in your, let's say, on your physical appearance. And people drop um, many of their desires, let's say, embodiment, because they don't see results fast enough. But it's so, it is vitally important to understand that change is taking place
Mm-hmm.
every single moment and every single day. But there is a progress, right? And there is, so to say, transformation that the human psyche and the human consciousness and the body and their nervous system is adjusting to a new reality, a new life. And until that is mirrored, basically it will be internally. You will take different actions, you will speak differently, you will really, everything changes about you before reality will mirror. So I encourage everyone that is watching this, please keep going. It's so important because the changes are happening. You just have to have patience and keep going in the same with the same pace. You don't have to add more to what you're doing. You don't have to change who you are. You simply must allow that truth to become internal, to become identity tied, let's say.
I think that everything comes from within. This recognition or remembrance of who you are comes from within, and it is reflected on the outside.
So, in our book, sorry. In our book, we have mentioned there the a method that has worked for us in every single thing that we have done, which is the method I will reveal soon. But what I want to say is that we have applied it. We are making a movie. I do not know if I mentioned this, but we are making a movie titled I Am the Key, which will be released in 2026. And we are also launching a book titled similarly, I Am the Key to Abundance, to Healing, and to Health, and to Love. And everything is yours now. Um, and why is it now? And why is it yours now? So basically, we project we project everything in the future, right? Everything will be, but we have not come. We as people and many people around me, and including I before, do not realize that exactly as you said previously, that all things spring from within. And this is, I think, that the greatest realization that we can have. Because thinking that we have to go outside and get things from the outside will keep us on a loop of suffering until we realize that everything that we want is available to us and for us whenever we need. The method that we have discussed in great depth in the book is see it, feel it, and be it. And I would, if I may, walk people through each step and really understand what these mean.
So, what we described in the book is a manifestation method, which is very simple and which resonated with us.
Yes, exactly. Manifestation is a general term, and for me, it kind of has a feeling of
Trying.
trying, grabbing, getting from the outside. It is going to come, no one knows when. It's a sense of powerlessness
And separation.
and separation. It's
Mhm.
like it will come from the outside. And so I do mention manifestation because people are used to this term. But really, what is happening at energetic level and what is truly the experience is basically the acknowledgement of it's like it is we term or we coined or we termed this crystallization
Mhm.
in the book. It is the crystallization of your consciousness,
Of your thoughts.
of your thought forms or thought waves into physical form.
Mhm. So, there are multiple planes of existence in which we simultaneously exist.
Yes, we are multidimensional.
Definitely. And the plane that we're talking about right now is the mental plane,
The mental plane.
where our thoughts reside.
Yes. And it is, for some, it is very organized. For some others, it is chaotic. It is colored thought forms and thought waves and images, mental images reside on the mental plane. And it is basically, it is as real as this physical plane. It is as real as I see you right now in
Mhm.
this physical plane. There are people that are clairvoyant and that can see in your aura and your consciousness. Basically, they can see how everything is organized and how in what thought forms you are entertaining. Or there are other people, and we have speakers in the film that literally can have an out of body experience and see this for themselves. And many people try this. Uh, Dario's technique of going out of their body and really experiencing this for themselves and seeing that there is more reality than what the senses perceive.
Hmm.
So, going back to the mental plane, it is as real as anything else, yet it is subtle. It
And it
is the subtlest of all planes. Actually, there are seven planes, and I would really like to mention them all. There is a divine plane from which all things come from. It is where
the
it is
Godhead,
Godhead. It is Godhead. It is God from all
the
from
source.
the source from which
Hmm.
all things are birthed, right? Uh, the next plane is the spiritual plane, where all the spiritual beings live. The, the third plane is the causal plane. It is the, so to say, karmic. It is the soul, where the soul lives
Hmm.
and where the memory of all lives and all experiences reside. And then um, below these, so to say, or next
Hmm.
on the ladder, are the mental plane, emotional plane or astral plane, and then the vital plane. And the fourth and the last, the seventh, is the physical plane,
Which
which literally is but the reflection of all the above. And so, similarly, our consciousness works the same. So, there is basically no separation. In the book, we have discussed about this lack of separation. Even if we perceive that we're
hmm
separate and we're individual, but at source, we are the same. We are made from the same source, experiencing our individuality. And this is really it is a gift, having this individuality and really being able to say I. But ultimately, all is all goes back
one.
to one.
Hmm.
And so, on the mental plane, we have thought forms, thought waves, different colors, different compartments. Really depends on each individual how they are arranging their mental capacity.
So here it's important to underline the fact that your thoughts matter.
About thoughts, Dr. Robert Gilbert, that I deeply admire, actually has said that every single thought that we have, and every single feeling, and every single action that we are willing. So basically, we have these centers, right? We have the three centers, main centers,
You're
which
not
is
talking about chakras, right?
we're
Okay.
talking about the centers of, let's say, consciousness that we operate from. We humans rarely think about our inner functioning, so to say, our inner mechanisms, but we are familiar yet do not really understand them. So we are familiar that we have thoughts, that,
Hmm.
but we don't really go deep into understanding why, where they come from, what's their quality. So we don't really question anything. But we have this mental plane, which is a center, right? Which is more developed. Then we have a second center, main center in the body or outside. No, we have the second center from which we operate on a daily basis, which are our feelings. Our emotions, feelings, intense, right? And they reside on the astral level. They can be very intense or they can be null. And the last center is our vital um, and our actions, our will center. This
Hmm.
is exactly what, precisely what Dr. Robert Gilbert meant.
He was referring it to lower dantian.
Yes.
Hmm.
So it's higher dantian, then middle dantian, and lower dantian. But these basically work together.
Hmm.
They're not separate, they're always together. It's like, so it's basically like the body, right? It operates as one unit, but it has different aspects to it. So
Different qualities.
it's the hand,
Hmm.
it's the leg, but they don't operate separately. It's, for instance, if the hand cannot operate by itself, right? So there is one main mechanism, which is the consciousness, my individual, so to say, consciousness that operates all these aspects. It is extremely important what we think, not important, extremely important what we think, because what we think will ultimately manifest.
Hmm.
What we think, it will be mirrored in this reality. So if we nurture ourselves with kind words, with love, and we pour it also onto others, then it will reflect back. But if we feed ourselves with negative and low vibrational thought forms, then it will, of course, hurt us and hurt everyone around us.
Having the beautiful thoughts about oneself is important because it's basically realizing and remembering that you are but love. You are nothing else. No other quality can really describe you, who you truly are, but love. I'm strong. I am everything that I want to be right now. And this is true about me now and forever. And everything that I do want to have, it's present right now. What I have to do is really know that it's true and select it, choose it, because your soul that came on earth to experience life chose this experience to just experience it and love it to the maximum, the maximum capacity.
I'm really happy that you mentioned this, because what you're saying ultimately is taking responsibility. There is no victim.
No.
In higher consciousness, and actually Vishrant, that I deeply admire, has mentioned many times that in higher states of consciousness, there is no such thing as victimhood. You must take responsibility.
Hmm.
And when you take responsibility, it's not easy. But once you take responsibility, you understand that the power lies within you. You are the one that can change your life. And this is the reason why we have titled the book, I Am the Key. I am is the creative force. And what you declare yourself to be, you are. And the power that I am holds is beyond our imagination. And so I am the key to everything. You want love, you have love. If you give yourself love, you have love. You want to be healed or you want to have a healthy life, you are the key. No one else can come and make it for you. You want a healthy and beautiful relationship, you can have that. But first, you must give yourself the love. You must be the one that you're looking for. I think that one of the most important thing to remember is to stop looking at the past. at what was, what parents did, what
The
it's
society did.
right, and the society. And I have on also on my social media, and everywhere I look, there is always a constant need for healing.
Mm.
I know it's crazy that I feel like every day I need to heal something. And I sometimes I'm like, this healing will never stop because there are always things that I need to heal. Until when do I need to heal? When is the day when I consider myself healed? Why do I need to heal? Isn't enough to acknowledge that I am complete in and of myself?
To accepting all parts.
It's not easy, but it takes responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
It you have to be responsible and understand, okay, this is my choice. Whatever they did to me when I was a child, whatever they're blaming for, whatever is happening around me, I accept them. I cannot change them, but I can change myself in the sense that I can embody a different version of myself, which is healed, which is complete, and which lives the life that I design. Reality might not mirror that instantly,
Mm-hmm.
but on the inner, you feel completely different. And it will reflect. You just have to keep going and have faith. And then, Neville Goddard has many quotes that I completely admire. And I will mention Neville many times in this podcast, as I will mention many people and many authors and speakers. But Neville is one of
Your favorites.
my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that an assumption, even though false, if persisted, it will harden into fact.
Mm-hmm.
Hence, what's important is not how true something is, but how long can you structurally hold that identity and hold that new truth until it rewrites the old one. So it's really about beliefs, and I want to bring Darius J. Wright in this conversation about beliefs, and I admire so deeply Darius, and I really hope that he's going to be in this podcast soon because he's just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And he is in the film I Am the Key, and I cannot wait to share this with people. It's authentic and every single time I hear him, I feel connected to source. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like that. Okay, so this is my experience with his presence. But he speaks about belief,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel that we everyone should look at our belief systems like an observer from the outside and really see what type of beliefs we hold and whether they serve us or they are detrimental to us. Because belief systems and beliefs are put in place also by some structures that do not necessarily have the best intentions, so to say. But the only way to control humanity is through beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's so important to really analyze and objectively really look at yourself without judgment and see what beliefs are put in place.
Mm-hmm.
Who who put them, what perspectives, and really turn around these beliefs all over, right, 360 degrees, and see them from different perspectives and really see if they're true for you right now or if you can literally let them go. And so I think that anyone that is doing this or that can do this is doing themselves a big favor. Because in this way, you can anew yourself, you can become a different version of yourself. And even like that, you can really forgive people. You can really look at yourself and understand that you are you're the creator of your reality. You are responsible, and this um, analyzing and observing and cleansing of belief systems is really something that it should be done regularly. And so about belief systems. Okay, so any belief system can be erased, changed, because they're not ultimate truth. Ultimate truth is to be found by each and every single one of us, because
Going within.
evolution, going within, because evolution ultimately, I feel that the journey for each soul is to find himself or herself
Hmm.
in whatever way that is necessary. So each and one of us, we will see for ourselves what truth really is. But going back to manifestation, once you realize that the power lies in your hands, in a metaphorical sense, um, you can change your life.
Have the feeling of things are already done. They like everything is complete. You are complete. We are complete. We're just not allowing yourself because we might doubt ourselves. We might think we're not worthy. And this is a feeling I had sometimes, and I also I have sometimes.
You know what? I think that the time has come for us to let go of, mm, let me see how to put this. I think also, I think I've read this in Vadim's book. Unworthiness could come from so many places and from so many directions. But ultimately, I realized that I feel unworthy when I have intentions to do something, but I do not complete them.
In the sense that you don't take action.
Right. And so, lack of action or delayed action for me triggers unworthiness.
Hmm.
And it hides itself in so many shapes and forms. But ultimately, I've stayed bluntly with myself and uncovered that every single time that I avoided whatever I considered hard, or avoided doing the action or taking the action of what I wanted from my heart, gave me this feeling of not being worthy. And it's a loop, because once I do that, I keep doing it. I keep avoiding and avoiding and avoiding, and it just covers me in layers of shame and guilt and so on. So it's just so many, so many um, intense emotions that at times you simply don't know what is happening and how to get out of there. And so, what I realized for myself is taking the action.
Hmm.
The only way, taking the action.
So just start whatever you're doing.
Start whatever that is. You are in fear, start anyway. You avoid yourself and you think you're going to fail, start anyways. You have no idea where you're going, start anyways. How bad can it be?
Hmm.
It's exactly as we did with the film. So we decided that we are going to make a film titled I Am the Key, because previously we had many experiences about consciousness, and in meditation, we will share the stories in later episodes. But we had no resources. We had no idea how to make a film. We had no idea what the film will be about. We had no idea who's going to film the film, where to make it. We had no idea of anything, how to start the book. So we had such a big vision because I have children and I'm a stay at home mother with no experience of writing books, writing films, but having spiritual experiences and understanding some spiritual truths, right? And desire to share them. And so something came, and it's like a divine
Intervention.
intervention or insight. It's similar to what J.K. Rowling had.
Mm.
I do not want to make any comparison. She is amazing, but I do remember in one of her interviews that she said she has had um, a clairvoyant experience or something like that, an
Mhm.
insight, a divine insight, where the information came from. So I felt the exact same thing, you know, um, and so we didn't know how, nor did we preoccupy ourselves.
We did not worry.
We did not worry, not even a bit, because we said if it is meant to happen, it will happen. We will be led step by step, day by day. And so what we did was we have we've seen it. We every single morning I would start with a meditation and I would see the film on Netflix. And I would see how impactful it is for people and how much it helps people and people's lives. This I felt that this was the action that I had to take at that moment. Then and then the book similarly. And so it's trusting that
Mm-hmm.
all things
I provided.
you are being led to where you need to be. There is no worry. Actually, the Bible mentions so many times that
Do not worry.
do not worry, nor does worry ever help.
No.
And so it's trust. It's not easy. W- I've we've we've put ourselves in so many situations where we had no idea what we're doing. Zero ideas. We have written the script. And before writing the script, we had no idea to write the script of the film.
But how excited were we when we were doing this? We laughed so much and we had so much fun. So we really enjoyed all the journey of not knowing,
Mm-hmm.
but actually being intuitive about it.
Mm-hmm.
I really love the journey,
Right.
discovering ourselves and abilities that we have and
And
that we did not know we had. It was amazing.
and lately, when we were shooting the film, every single day when we were shooting, we were lacking um,
Personnel.
personal. We were lacking. Actually, the setup was not complete. Um, the cast was not complete. Every single time there were things that were out of line. Yet we said we have launched in the universe that we are aligned, and this that today we're going to film and it will be wonderful. So we just relaxed. We intended that we are going to um, just work with what we have and do our best. And honestly, I was mesmerized. Ev- in every single day, we had more people to work with than we needed. We had the setup that we received, the setup in which we filmed, that was spontaneous was much better than the one that we intended to film in. And so on and so forth, so many synchronicities, right? So I honestly felt the divine presence of God and all the beings of light that were contributing. And not to mention that I want to thank every single speaker that is in the film, and that I am more than grateful for every single one of them that shared their story, they shared their experience, and my connection and our connection uh, with them is amazing and was always such a beautiful collaboration. So it was such a beautiful collaboration altogether. And when did I ever think that me, as a mother of four boys, I would ever make a film and discuss with these amazing people and so on and so forth. But ultimately, I trusted. I trusted and I learned how to work with myself and allow these experiences. Exactly what you just said, that I gave myself permission to have
Mm.
and myself permission to be. And I really want to go back to the planes of existence. So we have previously mentioned that the mental plane is where thoughts reside, right? And they are extremely important. Then we have the emotional plane. The emotional plane, the our emotions reside at the astral plane. It's where the emotions are filled, are the actually the fuel
Mm.
that carry
Energy.
the energy and the thought forms uh, downwards on the ladder of solidification, in the sense that they're like a carrier of the thought forms into in a more crystallized form.
Okay.
They help densify the thought forms, right? So emotions are the carriers, our emotions, our energy in motion. And so they help us carry the thought forms, and they're filled, they are the energies, the emotions are the ones filling the thought forms, right, with the energy necessary to crystallize into physical experience, right? And so there is a great palette of emotions, but we know that some emotions do harm and some emotions elevate us and make us feel really good. But ultimately, I believe that a human should aim at controlling both states,
Mm-hmm.
not oscillating between really lows and really highs, but rather
Somewhere in the
balance.
middle.
Exactly. That's what I feel works best, because even those high emotions, those very exquisite and happy, and they're peaks, really
Mm-hmm.
high peaks, but you can not really sustain neither nor, right? So it's really good to find the balance and really have a natural, how do I say it, relationship to whatever comes and goes. In the sense that if you find yourself often really attaching yourself to outcomes and have really high expectations, then you are very likely to have really big disappointments in
Mm.
life. Whereas if you manage to keep your emotions in check, right, in as much as possible in the middle, then you're likely not to, right, not to fall too down when things disappoint you, nor have too many high ups, because life is, things come and go. And um, so that's with the emotions. Keep them in check. And the third is the will center. It's where the action, the embodiment, and this is what Robert Gilbert spoke about. Neville Goddard, the one that you mentioned, Vadim Zealand, and so many others about embodiment. And I think maybe not too many books have been written about embodiment.
Embodiment of anything you want is just walk in your life as if it's true. Anything, really. Even if it's the beginning, might, if it's something that you're not accustomed to or you don't physically see, it might be a bit difficult. For for instance, you want a new house, and that house is not physically present yet. It's in your imagination and it's in your feeling center. And so you feel it. Well, the next step is embodiment. How do you embody that? Well, every action that you take towards that is an embodiment. So wherever you go, you you connect all three centers. So you imagine you're in that house and then you feel, how does it feel? And you take action, like what would you do in that house? Where would you sit? And you just sit anywhere, really is not important. And you imagine that you are in that specifically house, in that specific house that you want to manifest. And so this applies to anything you want to manifest. So it's you embody that state with with all the knowing and all your being in that moment, in every single day. And at some point, you don't know when, but at some point, this physical reality will reflect that which you embodied, which was true and is true for you. For this reality that we experience is what you consider to be true for you.
And did you ever notice that things happen when you at least expect them to happen?
Hmm. I think this is because you drop importance. Sometimes when we want to manifest anything, we give so much importance to the outcome that we're so attached to what's happened that we're not letting it in, create more separation. But after a while, we just loosen the grip and we forget about it. We engage in other actions. And so we are actually letting that reality manifest without giving it too much attention.
What you are placing your awareness becomes real to you.
Yes, it's where
And the
you.
more we feed with our intention and we give attention to our life energy force, to whatever reality we're perceiving, that is what becomes real to us.
Yes, harden into fact, physical
Yes.
form.
Thank you. And so this is precisely why and how we came up with this method of that is simple to remember, it's simple to apply, and it is um, the easiest way in which one can really manifest the life that they want,
Mhm.
in the sense that they see it, they choose it, they select it from infinite possibilities within this quantum field. They select the intention, right? They select whatever they want to experience. They see it with more clarity and as much clarity as possible. And then they have the feelings. And it is very important to note here that one can have feelings that allow the crystallization, that manifestation to happen. And there are feelings that actually misalign you
Mhm.
energetically, which are doubt, fear, unworthiness, and belief systems basically that prevent you from having and with and holding the abundance. So if you internally and deep down believe that you are not worthy of the abundance that you're selecting, then your psyche, your subconscious mind will in some ways sabotage you and prevent you to
From
from
experiencing.
experiencing that. And it is a form of preservation, and it's a form of really keeping you safe
Mhm.
because for some reason, for some belief reason,
The conscious part believes it's threatening that
and
which you think of.
it's not, it might not even be conscious. You might really want to be so abundant. And yet there is a part of you that you do not understand because it is unconscious and it is um, internalized and not digested, that does not accept, that does not allow. But when you're in meditation, you have more access to the subconscious mind.
When do you think it's important to manifest? Is it during the day or right before falling asleep?
Mm, from personal experience, it is when you are very relaxed. I have I have tried many techniques. To some, especially the ones where you have really a very strict schedule that you should be doing this in the morning or in the afternoon or at night, at sleep, I put, and probably it's exactly what you have mentioned, that I have projected so much importance to that event that I cannot be relaxed in those moments. And so because there is desire,
Hmm.
I'm going to do something very important
Important.
tonight. It's going to be the
And
most important thing.
because my future depends on what I'm doing at night.
Right. And so projected importance at its maximum. And so of course I cannot relax, and my subconscious mind simply prevents me from having the experience. Whereas I've noticed that when I simply don't need anything,
Mhm.
when I don't want to manifest, when I am okay with myself, and I simply sit, and actually I've noticed that I know what I'm doing, but I'm not telling my intellect what I'm doing.
Mhm.
So to say, not to, so to say, I'm, I know
You're bypassing.
I'm bypassing my intellect, my conscious mind, so that it will not stop me. And so I just simply relax. My eyes are open even when I'm driving. I'm simply picturing that and picturing that as much as possible and as often as possible, and with no expectation. Because, as you have said, and as Vadim, of course, has written about, this projected importance prevents us, and the desire prevents us from really having that which we want. And that is not embodiment.
Mhm.
Embodiment is trust, embodiment is meaning everything flows from within. There is nothing I lack. It does not come from the outside. I do not have to go and grab it. N- Someone else will not go and grab it because there is no such thing.
Mhm.
So the model from which I operate is this: everything exists already. Creation is complete. There is nothing I lack or anyone lacks, and I get to select. I have the free will to select the experience.
and enjoy it.
Enjoy it. You might add that there are some experiences that are not pleasant. For some reason, I believe that it's still me who is responsible.
I
The
believe it.
quality of my thoughts, the quality of my feelings, the quality of my intentions might not have been the best. And so I am basically experiencing the
Outcome
right.
of your thoughts.
Yes.
Plus, I do consider that those moments when we find ourselves in situations where it's like a hardship moment, it's really a place where we grow, we learn things about ourselves, about our limits, about who we truly are, because we're observing how we interact with people and how reactive we are in those moments where we're just all buttons are pushed. So those moments are catalytic for us just to recognize, okay, I have limits here. What do I do? Do I stay in my power or do I give it away?
I would like to say that there is nothing we lack. Ultimately, there is nothing we lack. And I really challenge and I ask each and every single person that sees this episode to test everything that we have said, to really think about what has been said and apply for yourself and
Mhm.
see what resonates, what feels truth, and always understand, as difficult as it is, that you are the creator of your life and that the power lies within.
The, the power
And
lies within you.
yes, within you. And there is nothing you cannot do, there is nothing you are not prepared to do. And if you need anything, be sure that you will receive all that is required for your desires to be manifested. You just have to allow yourself to have, give yourself permission, love yourself as much as you can, forgive yourself, forgive others, and know that this too shall pass and that you are going to have the most amazing life.
That I think that this is our birthright to live a life full of abundance, full of love, full of knowing that we are all that we ever imagined and that we'll ever imagine. So,
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Catalina, so much for being present here with me.
thank you, Roddy. It was amazing.
Until next time, be
If
well and know that you are the key.
and if you have any question that you would like to ask, please do so in the comments. You are the key, and we love you so much.